Welcome back, you beautiful people. I am here at Thruxton again for round 2, which I'm hoping goes a little better than obviously last week. Having to cancel on the last lap means no points, nothing. So last week was basically a training ride. But I'm here with my teammate again, Matt. We're going to get out there, just give it hell. The wind, it's going to be very, very fast finish straight, and the back straight should be pretty quick. But yeah, all the flags are flying that way. The finish goes that way, so it's going to be very, very quick. I've just come from work, so I'm a bricklayer. That's what I do 5 days a week. So on my feet all day, and then I'm going to put my kit on in a sec and then go out for a warm-up. You can warm up out here and on the start of the circuit. But I think, to be fair, I'll probably do it out here. It gets quite chaotic in there. But looking at the numbers, they're a bit lower than last week. I know the London circuit racing is starting again, and I'm not sure if the crashes and all that put people off. And it also said we're going to get really bad weather, but luckily, you know, it was wet on the way here. Fingers crossed. It is bone dry at the minute, just quite windy, but hopefully everyone's safe tonight. So next up, put the kit on, go for a little warm up. Thanks for coming back, guys. It always helps. We're trying to bring you some good racing. So here we are on the bike, all the kit on. We're getting warmed up. Got 18 minutes till we're on the track. Although you can warm up on a track, but it's pretty chaotic, so I figured while I'm just warming up, I could talk to the phone out here. So yeah, the plan is me and Matt are just going to go for it from the gun. Some lads went for it last week and stayed away for quite a while. Try and turn it into a bit of a Saturday smash. Looking at the wind, certain areas you can really attack and save some energy. And then in the headwind is when people are probably not going to pull. So like right now, if I turn into the headwind, and it's quite a difference. And also tonight I'm back on the hammerhead. Give that a go again. Although I like the Garmin, it feels pretty old school sometimes. And again with the diabetes, I can see all my numbers when it last changed. So give that a go. So next up is the footage from in the race. Let's just have some fun, give it some hell, and see you on the other side. Cheers. And here we are at the start of the race. Off we go. And like I said earlier in the video, me and Matt were going to just go from the start, because last week 2 lads went off and literally no one followed. But today was a bit different. You know, me and Matt on the front, giving it beans. I think I have a look round and I'm like, they're all following today. Which I don't know whether it's the Lacole kit and stuff like that, 2 of us being at the front. But the guys were on our tail, you know, they didn't want us getting away. So there's Matt coming to do a little pull. You know, I've been on the front probably a minute or so now, trying to pull away. And yeah, obviously, again, Matt's gone past and no one else has gone past yet. They're still sat on my wheel, which, like I say, was a bit frustrating because, you know, I don't know whether they were just marking us and, you know, seeing how the first lap went. But again, look, the camera turns, I look, everyone's still behind, and I think I shout to Matt, you know, send it and let the others pull. And again, look, they're sort of there and they don't do anything. So there goes Matt, takes his chance and tries to escape. And then finally, you know, I think this is 2 minutes in, a couple of lads try to break across. One lad's already pulled off, so didn't really put in an effort to try and catch Matt. And then you can see every now and again an odd one pulls along and goes, which I think this is Matt Gilmore. He was in the break with us, you know, he sent it. Like, you can't even see Matt now. You know, I've started to sit up and I figured, you know what, let them boys get away, and if I can, you know, chill out a little bit, catch my breath and chase back on. So look, another lad's gone for it. And again, in this whole 50-man peloton, I think 4 people have overtook. You can see them over there, all just sitting to the side. And finally a couple go. Again, don't really, just the way everyone's riding, they're quite set up, chilled. You know, it's the first lap, so you know, you can't expect much. But Matt and the other lads, they're gone. So I'm sat here thinking, right, I need to buy my chance, let them get away a little bit, and then just absolutely hammer it. So again, yeah, you know, again, there's only 6-7 people there. Still a lot of people behind, and one lad's tried to escape on the right. And look, everyone's sort of, let's just chill. Not really sure what we're doing. I thought, you know what, bugger it. This is a slight downhill. You can't see the lads in front. I just absolutely sent it. I knew there's a bit of a tailwind once I get to the top of the hill before the chicane. So if I'm putting in a hard effort, I think it was about 2 minutes, I just dug deep. I think I was sat about 480 watts doing this, just trying to get, I'm not the most aero, but trying to get aero. Look over, see, right, I've got a gap, and I can slightly see the guys quite far in front. And like you can see here, there's no one in front, and I've got a lot of chasing still to do, not even at the chicane yet. So yeah, just hammer it down and finally start closing them in towards the end of the first lap. I think there's 6 there. Yeah, put the hammer down. That was a big effort to try and get across, because I figured, if there's a few of us in the break, there's me and Matt and some other lads, singular team. We can all work together. So Matt's pulled off to the side. He's done his pull. So I'm going to just take a moment just to catch my breath. I've caught him back up. That was a big effort. 2 minutes getting across to this. So we settle in, and then we start pulling turns. You see in a minute how it goes. We just pull through to the front. Then once we're through, we pull off to the side. Depending on the weather, I think here we're always going to the left because the wind was on our right. So yeah, this is the breakaway now, and we just send it. The lad in front there in the black shorts, he eventually won the race. He rode well. And yeah, like I say, you just see the way we're doing it. Pull through and off. Pull through and off. There's Matt. Yeah, it was good. Here we had a savage headwind, like you can see here. Pull through and off you go. Get a bit of a view from behind. But yeah, here was a really bad headwind. And it was this part of the race that helped keep us away, I think, because I don't know if the peloton really wanted to pull. I think at the biggest point we had a minute gap, which was quite nice. We were working together, and apparently they weren't, so they're not going to do much as a 40-man peloton if no one's really doing any work. So yeah, we just chip in and go. But problem is, towards the end of this race, in this peloton, a few of the lads were skipping turns, which slowed us down. I think one lad, for the last 3 laps, barely touched the front. But that's racing and all that sort of stuff. But looking at our lap times, they started dropping almost 10 seconds a lap. And if only 3 of you are pulling hard and the others are sat on, I feel like if you're riding smooth and pulling off, going through nicely, you're going to be a lot faster. So yeah, I think we're coming into the last lap now, and again this lad on the right has pulled, done his turn, and off he goes. This finish straight was so fast because the tailwind was really, really fast. So yeah, I think, like I say, going to the last lap, we've been in the break for 54 minutes now. Lap time is about 4.5-5 minutes, so everyone's feeling it. So here we go. I think there's Matt coming past, and I think you see in the videos, like as they pull through, some lads don't. I'm not trying to show the lads that don't pull through, but it certainly slowed it down. We were all trying to work together. So the 6 of us, and 3 are pulled through, Matt's in front. And yeah, we just keep it going. And we're getting near the end. Let's say if it's the last lap, we're all keeping it quite chilled. And the wind did pick up, which I think made for an even faster finish. So what's next? Here goes Matt again. Matt rode so good that night, pulling through, pulled strong turns, and I'm looking over, seeing, and look, only 2 of the 6 have pulled through. So again, I'm back in, and I was like, see if they get a little gap. Matt Gilmore tried to do a little getaway here, but I think because it was into the headwind, it's quite a lot for one lad to try and go. And I'm saying to Matt, just
just let him dangle a bit. And then these two lads attacked, and I was like, you don't skip a turn and attack. So I jumped straight on that, which was a strong pull by these lads. And then the guy in front pulls off again. The other lad tries to attack again, which didn't end up being nothing. And you know, if you're gonna skip turns and then attack like that and get caught, you know, I don't know, just feel like it's not really worth it. If you're going to attack, really go for it, but it seemed like the attacks only happened for about 10 seconds before they realised, actually, this is harder than it looks. And yeah, you know, they pull through. So these lads were really strong. It was a good break to be in. You know, everyone worked well together while we were working together, but then, I'd say, coming into the last lap, everyone's like trying to save their legs for the sprint finish, which I think is coming up next. There's Matt doing his pull off. I think we go into the chicane. There's a massive bunch, like really close together, and I go into it a bit too hot, and I had to put the brakes on slightly there, and then I sort of got swung really far wide, which put me out of the wind. So I just put the hammer down. These guys touching, which is quite wild for a finish. And yeah, I did what I could and came through in 5th. So happy with that, really happy, great race. So yeah, there we go. So there we have it, the race. I just realised I didn't actually do an outro, which is a bit annoying because all the lads that finished in the peloton were at the end. We're having a good chat and a laugh. It'd been good to get them in the videos. So yeah, it's the next day, next morning, and I was looking through the footage and was like, I didn't do an outro. So yeah, all in all, an absolutely amazing race. Me and Matt were pretty buzzing. You know, we're in the breakaway from the start and just put in strong rides, fitness and all that going well. And yeah, ended up 5th, like you see in that sprint. Wasn't quite in the best position in the chicane when you're going 50 kilometers an hour. It's surprising how tight that chicane can get. So lesson learned, just try and move a little bit more forward. But yeah, thanks guys. That was another night at Thruxton. There's 2 more rounds, so they do it every Tuesday. So if anyone's keen locally or a bit further afield, get involved. There's a 3-4 cat, a women's, and the E123. So yeah, that was a great race. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to keep doing that. I've actually got a time trial tonight, and then I've got another time trial on Friday. And then I'm off to Abingdon on Saturday with Matt and Alex from Nicole to ride a Nat B around the airfield circuit. So yeah, thanks guys. Say comment, give it a thumbs up. It's always good. If you haven't, subscribe. So yeah, cheers guys.